DIY.
Shout out to the homie Chris AK. He put this story on my radar about 50 Cent getting past a very legendary threshold of 1 billion streams on In the Club via Spotify. 20 years later, In the Club, a song that gets played every single day. I guarantee you, because of the words 50 Cent uttered, "Go shawty, it's your birthday. You know that if you don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday." It don't matter what the age is. There's just certain songs that are going to get played every single day of our lives. And those kind of songs don't happen by accident. In fact, this article here, the rockthebells.com article, 50 Cent's mega hit In the Club turned 20 this year. In addition to celebrating the 20-year anniversary of his massive debut, Get Rich or Die Trying, he also is sharing some advice. He went on Instagram to offer artists a bit of a direction when it comes to making music. 50 Cent was quoted as saying, "Take your time making it a classic, then it won't go away." Blacka, blacka. Is that shots, Curtis? The plaque celebrated the classic song's landmark achievement, hitting 1 billion streams on Spotify. Shout out to 50 Cent, man. Although we don't get much new music from him these days, he's got his hand in so many different things. Television, alcohol, beverages, and he's just doing so many things on a level as an entrepreneur that back when he was beefing, I could not, I saw the business savvy, but I was like, man, I hope he'll be around long enough to be able to enjoy this, because he was going at everybody at one point in time. The thing I want to highlight though is the statement that he made. And in a lot of ways, I feel like, once again, I hate to keep harping on this, but this idea of this is the first time that hip hop has not been in the charts around this period of time. We're now officially in July. And until the numbers come back for Lil Uzi Vert's Pink Tape, we don't know if it even got it. And even if it did, some of y'all crack me up. Lil Uzi Vert getting ready to drop. You think that one project is going to make us ignore the missing hip hop music from the charts? Even if it happens for 4 albums for the entire year, you don't think that's a bit of a drop off from the amount of number ones that we've seen before? That aside, I think this still relates to it because 50 Cent says something that I feel like is kind of a direct shot to the way that music is made today. If you know anything about 50 and work ethic and what was expected of him when he worked with Dr. Dre, Dr. Dre don't play. Dr. Dre will take his time. Still take my time to perfect the beat. And I still got love for the streets. It's the D.R.E. He put it in a lyric. The man don't play about the tedious process and the step-by-step process of creating the music that is going to be the highest quality. 50 Cent echoes that particular work ethic by saying, take your time to make a classic, then it won't go away. Another reason that I feel like people are changing their listening habits of music on a mainstream level is because of how disposable the process has become, how disposable music has become in the eyes of the people who create it. Folks are not taking their time anymore making these records. You know, it's crazy. When we talk about folks who got vaults, we're not talking about Prince, Kendrick. We're not talking about the folks who are truly artists and just create at a prolific level. We're talking about the folks who just make bullshit. And they can make a whole lot of it. And they looking at music as a lick. I ain't even gonna switch the style up. That's good branding. We're talking about those. And the folks who don't see the benefit in spending time with your music, who cares? I'm just gonna make as much music as I can. And at some point in time, this shit gonna hit. And when it hit, I'm gonna talk about how great I am by telling you that, yeah, we made like 500 songs and got to this. When I feel like when we fast forward time, at some point we gonna look at this shit and be like, why is that a good thing? I made 4,000 songs to get to this album. Why? You could sit in front of a basketball hoop and keep throwing the basketball over the hoop. It's not going to improve your ability to put the ball in a hoop. Dummy. But some people operate like that within the musical spaces. But 50 Cent is reminding you, hey. When you take your time to make it a classic, it won't go away. I think there's a lot of decisions that are made, especially when it's a team effort, especially when you're thinking about how to make it timeless. And they're not like complex decisions. I think the decision, whoever it was, if it was 50 Cent, I forget who, I've seen an interview about it. Whoever said to put that "Go Shawty, it's your birthday" in the beginning might have turned that song from being just a massive hit of its time to being a 1 billion streamed record. But could that also, what 50 Cent is alluding to, be the reason that people don't even want to show up for your album? To further drive this home, how about we talk to Lil Bow Wow Hey, yo, there's a video right now going viral of Bow Wow talking to someone on the BET carpet. And they asked him straight up. They said, Bow Wow, why do you think that hip hop hasn't charted this year? If anybody knows about what charts and what it requires to chart, it's somebody who's done it as many times as him.
Charted at all this year for hip hop and anything. So how do you feel about that?
Putting out trash ass music.
No, not the trash music.
It's serious. Everything sounded like, everything repetitive, same tempo. It's roll out the bed, everybody can do that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. Now we finally getting to a point where I feel like now it's about to shift back into the real shit. Like, you really got to have talent. You really got to go. I think people are starting to get tired of it now. That's why you don't see nothing charting. Everything sound the same. Every girl want to get a bag, get a rich, spin the block. I'm sliding on the everything is sound the same. Ain't nobody doing nothing different. So it's time to shake the game up and get it back to what it need to get back to. And that's just the real essence of artistry and real good music. Like, that's gonna last forever.
So Bow Wow is basically saying his theory of why the music is not charting right now is because of how much it sounds alike. We've talked about that, and how much it's just repeating itself. Could that be one of the side effects of doing music at such a prolific level with as little interest as you could give to putting music out like that, when you're just next song, next song, next song, next song, next song, next song, when you're not giving the music the attention it deserves because you're concerned about keeping up with every other artist who's also just throwing out a bunch of money, when you're looking at music as a lick, could that contribute to why the music starts sounding exactly the same? Could it be also that artists have driven home this idea of having a consistent brand, which is very important when it comes to packaging a product? Let's not get that twisted. Coca-Cola tried to change the design of their cola. People was ready to beat their ass. That's very important to have consistency amongst your branding. But when you do that to the music and you're taking away what created the quality music of yesterday and the quality music that still comes out today, when you listen to a Kendrick album, you know the musicians involved took their time. When you listen to the song lyrics and then you watch somebody break down the layers of these lyrics, you know those lyrics took a lot of time to create. A lot of life had to be lived in order for that to happen. It is so hard for an artist to produce that kind of result when your only way of making music is send me 5 beats. I'm gonna do 15 2-tracks tonight, and then we gonna get this shit going. You engineer that. I don't even care what that shit sound like. For some reason, they're confused why people are not emotionally attached to it. They're not even emotionally attached to the process.
I ain't heard nothing that I say, I'm gonna hear this 30 years from now.
Wow.
Nothing.
There's nobody.
I mean, Drake, Kendrick, and I would say Cole. Other than that.
Oh, you mean the people who are taking time to make their music? Now, this is not an assassination on the people out there who produce at a high clip. If you have been given a God-given gift to make music at a speed that none of us can understand, at a quality that most of us would love to reach, more power to you. But one thing that cannot be denied is that when you take your time, I know graphic designers know this firsthand, you see something one day in one light. Then you give it 2 to 3 days on working on something else and you come back to it with a fresh pair of eyes and it changes your whole perspective. Because when you give it time, the perspective changes. Well, people are not giving music time because all they're thinking about is music as a product. Why does that matter? Because these folks won't change anything from the suits down to the booths until their bottom line is affected. Well, damn it, your bottom line is getting affected. You better tend to this advice that 50 Cent just gave you. When you take your time with it, it'll never go away. Very curious to hear your thoughts on this. DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Don't be greedy. Peace.